What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on our RAV4. We are going to be replacing every single bulb on the RAV4 with LED. So this has been a little bit overdue since this is a 2019 and it's 2021 now, but it is time. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to be doing everything from interior lights to exterior lights, front, back, everything. So anything that is incandescent or halogen, we're going to be replacing it, except this doesn't have halogen. This already has LEDs in the headlights, so we're going to be doing everything else besides the low beam and the high beam. So let's go. So this is what we're going to be using in this video. If you guys have been following our channel, you guys know we love VLEDs, and for a good reason. These guys are probably one of the best LED bulb replacements on the market right now. The other company that we really like is Morimoto, but we did Morimoto in the other video with the second gen. We may or may not have posted it before this video or after, but you guys will see that sooner or later. In this video though, VLEDs, this is the turn signal. We got a bunch of other bulbs here. We have some resistors just because we know the turn signals will hyper flash, sorry, over here. But being that we're replacing the front turn signal and the back turn signal, the system is going to think there's not any bulbs there, or there's a burnt bulb just because it's pulling such little amperage. So that's going to be the reason why we installed those resistors. But with that being said, we're going to start on the inside. All right, so on the inside of the RAV4, there are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total bulbs. The 4 in the front are going to be exactly the same, and then the dome light in the back or the center will be a different style, so you guys will see. But we're going to start right here. This is the vanity. As you guys can see, it is yellow, so that's how all the bulbs are going to look, but we're going to be pulling them all out before we even show you guys, so you guys won't even see the other ones, but you guys know that's how it looks. So with a plastic pry tool, most of you guys should have these by now. If you guys don't, you guys can find this on Amazon or pretty much any auto parts store. Super handy for pretty much everything. We're going to come in from the outside, pry it up there, and then it'll come down just like that. Super easy. So the thing with this one is the outer shell and the inner piece will come out together. This is the little prong, so super easy. The bulb is right here. So this is what the bulb will look like, and we're going to be replacing it with this one here. So there's actually 2 different versions of this bulb. This one is a 14 LED. So right in the middle there, you guys can see there's a single ring of diodes in the middle. The other one will be like this, which will have 2 rows of diodes. This one is a 26 LED diode bulb. This one is too bright for a vanity in my opinion, so we're going to be replacing the vanity with a 14. We are going to use the 26 for the map lights, however, which we'll show you guys in a little bit. So these bulbs, they are super fancy. They are really nice, designed in the US, and you guys can see here, if it'll focus, really nice quality, super bright, great color. This is the 5.5 K temperature, so it's pure white. So we are gonna just pop that in there, open it, check that it is working before you reinstall it. So as you guys see there, super bright and white, just the way we like it. Tuck it back in there on the inside first, and then you're done. And that's that. Next, we are going to be working on the map light. So as you guys can see here, we have already popped one open just to show you guys what it looks like, but I will show you guys how to pop this one out. So to take this off, you guys will need something pretty thin. So our current pry tool is pretty thin. One side of it is already kind of broken, so we're not going to use that side. So just squeeze it in there, kind of pry it down, and then with your other hand you will pull it down at the same time, just because these are kind of different than the Tacoma ones and the 4Runner ones. But as you work your way around, it'll come loose. There's going to be 4 corners that you guys want to pretty much pry on this, and I can't really see over here with where I'm sitting, but there's one more tab right here that I will need to get out. The trick I just found out with this is that once you have it kind of loose like this, you want to grab it and then kind of pull it towards the middle, because these prongs right here are what's attaching to the outer portion. So grab it like this and twist it towards you with your right hand. Just be a little bit patient with that, just because it is tight right here, and these slots in, they make it everything super tight. But once you have it both open, grab your bulb. Like I said before, we're going to be using the 26 diode bulb. Once you plug it in, it lights up right away. Here's the other one. And then if it doesn't work for some reason, grab the bulb, take it out, flip it 180, and then plug it in. Just because some of these are polarity, they depend on the polarity. So if it's positive, negative, just flip it and it should work. Once you verify that it does work, grab your covers. So this one would be the passenger or driver side. Just put it in, clip it in. There's really no way you could mess this part up. Pretty straightforward. I know, just clip in just like that, and ta-da, very nice. And then we're gonna do the other vanity off camera, just because we already showed you guys over here. All right, so now we are in the back. We're gonna be working on the dome light for the rear. There's gonna be 2 little cutouts essentially behind it, and you can kind of see it because it's clear. Go ahead and use your pry tool, pry, and then it should just pop out just like that. And then ta-da, comes out just like that. Then you will grab your bulb. So this one you can kind of see, it's like a, I don't know, it has 2 ends, and the rear is polarity dependent as well. So try it out first. If it doesn't work, like it didn't work for us just now, just flip it, make sure it's on, and so as you guys can see there, it's on. So now that we have it all the way in, I'll show you guys what it looks like. So let me turn this off real quick. Okay, so that is what it'll look like once it's fully installed. As you can see, sitting on both metal pieces on each side, and then you can put your cover on. The cover would just go on from back to the front, and you can just clip it in just like that, put it on door, and there you go. All right, so now that the interior is done, we're going to be doing the headlight bulbs. So we have the hood opened, we have the hood propped. So in the headlight on this trim level, this is the XLE. So we have the LED low beams and high beams. So all we're going to be replacing in the front is the side marker, which is all the way in the corner, and the turn signal, which is all the way over here. So first, we're going to be taking out the side marker, and it will be a little bit easier to move the hood rod. I'm just going to move it right there, and then that way I can have full access to twist and pull it out. So this is what the bulb looks like. Same bulb as the vanity and map lights. Then I will put the rod back so it doesn't fall. And then I will grab the turn signal, twist, pull as well. This one I have already pulled out. I'm just demonstrating how you can remove it. So the first one we're going to be replacing is the side marker bulb. We're going to be pulling that off, set it off to the side. We're going to be replacing it with an amber bulb. You could replace it with a white bulb if you wanted to, since the reflector on the actual headlight housing is amber. It won't really matter, but I am just doing it with amber just to have as much amber as possible. So the turn signal bulb is this one here. We're going to be replacing it with this one here. This one has a ton of diodes, as you can see, 2 rows on the side and even on the top. So major upgrade for the turn signal. Put the factory one off to the side, grab your connector. We'll go ahead and plug it in. Then we will test it out before we put everything back by turning it on. So I'm gonna go do that real quick. So first I'm gonna flip on my headlights. So there's the side marker, and then I will turn on the hazard, and there's my turn signal. So as you guys saw there, they both work, they're both super bright, so we're gonna go ahead and reinstall it. So if you guys don't know, on all headlights and turn signals and every single bulb, there is a certain pattern you have to reinstall it. Normally what I look for is this bigger piece and match it with the bigger cutout that is inside on the back of the headlights. So we'll go ahead and reinstall those, matching it up and then turning it. Side marker, once again, I'm going to move the hood prop rod, match it up, and then turn it to lock it into place, and then put it back. So now I'm going to show you guys a quick side-by-side comparison of the factory bulbs, which is on the driver's side, and then the aftermarket VLEDs that we just installed on the passenger side. All right, so let's see what we have. So first thing you'll notice is obviously the blinking turn signals, and you can tell by the kind of the oval or the reflection that the amber turn signals are making. So you can tell already, super bright with the turn signals. And then a close-up shot. And then the side marker here. I'm not gonna really be able to show you guys a side-by-side comparison, but as you guys can see there, very nice. I like it. Now let's go ahead and move to the back tail light. So their tail lights is a little bit different than the 4Runner and the Tacoma. Normally there's an access panel right here where you can normally just reach in and twist and take out the bulbs, but not on the RAV4. So the RAV4 is a little bit harder, but I will show you guys how to do it. So first of all, what we need to do is take this piece out. So this one and this one is actually 2 separate pieces. So since I only have one hand, this piece might be falling on the ground, but slide your tool right up here. I will try to catch it, but just pretty much, and I missed. So it will pop out just like that, and then it will expose 2 10mm bolts. And so we'll grab our little driver and take those off. Set those off to the side because we will reuse those. Now comes the tricky part. So once we have these two bolts back here off, there's a little lip, just lift it over a little bit. And then with your pry tool, you guys will want to slide it right in there just to create a little bit of pressure, so that way when we push that way, the headlight will just want to come off easily. So plastic pry tool, and then a little bit of pressure. And then at the same time, you guys will want to put pressure on this as well. And then the tail light will slide, and I will show you guys once I grab the camera where the main part is that really holds the tail light in place. All right, so once the tail light's out, you will notice this white tab here. So this one will coordinate with this very back part of the tail light, which is probably the toughest part. So you guys can kind of see here, once the headlight slides off, some plastic residue or just plastic in general will rub off from the sliding motion, but it'll come off. It's not down to paint anything, so you guys don't have to worry about that. But I also went ahead and put a rag between the tail light and the paint, so that way nothing gets scratched or damaged during the process of this. So on the back of the tail light, so there's going to be two that you won't really replace, and Toyota actually put a little screw on it to kind of hint that you shouldn't be touching those. The only one we're going to be replacing is this twist off one, and this one is the turn signal. So we'll go ahead and turn that, take it out, replace it, and then we'll show you guys a side-by-side comparison after we do the reverse that is on the hatch. So next we have our reverse light or bulb. So it's actually going to be in the hatch itself. Toyota made it easy. There's a little cover so you don't have to take off the entire panel. With our same pry tool, there's a little notch. Stick it right in there and then pry. It'll pop out just like that. Set it down. So in there you will see the reverse bulb. You just twist just like all the other bulbs, pull it out, pull that bulb out. Then we will grab our new bulb. We're going to put that right in there. And then as always, make sure you test it before you put it back in. So I'm going to put the car in ignition on mode. We'll put it in reverse. And then you should be able to see the reverse light right there, super bright. Now I can go ahead and put it back in park and shut off the car so it stops freaking out. But there you guys have it. Now let's go ahead and just put it back in, line it up, twist it, lock it in place, get your cover, put it back on, clips right in. So now that the whole driver's side in the rear is done, I'm going to turn on the running lights, put it in reverse, and then show you guys a side-by-side comparison with the driver's side and the factory passenger side. And since this is a hybrid, you guys will hear that noise when it's in reverse. But here's the back. So right away, you guys can tell how bright that reverse light is compared to the factory. So it's going to be real nice to be able to see everything that is behind us at night. And then of course, the bright turn signals compared to the little dim one from factory. Now that we have the turn signals done, well, while you guys have the taillights out, we're going to show you guys how to install the resistor. So in the package, you guys will get the resistor itself with a pigtail, some double-sided tape, which you will put on the back of the resistor, and then the other end of the pigtail. So the pigtail, the single cord by itself, will line up with the pigtail that is on the resistor. Just plug that in, and then you will connect this end to the wire that I will show you guys right now. So this is where we put the resistor. So we cleaned off that down there on the paint just with the rag and some rubbing alcohol, and then we peeled the double-sided tape and we just stuck it there. That way when we install the taillight back up, it won't hit it and it won't get in the way. and then we've connected that pigtail with a single pigtail, and then on the end of that we just have it connected to the turn signal. So this is your turn signal. There's only 2 wires that comes out of it. So you just put those 2 wires through this part, and then you use some pliers to clamp it down. So this is how it will look. You can open that up, feed the 2 wires in. It doesn't matter which way you put the wires or which wire goes where. Just put those 2 in, clamp it down with a set of needle nose or any kind of pliers that you have, and then just make sure that it is all the way down and locked into place. And then once you plug the end of that with the resistor, everything is done. So at this point, we can go ahead and put that back in its hole, and then put the taillight back, and then now you will not have any hyperflash issues with the new LED bulbs. So we'll go ahead and get that done. We'll do the other side. We put that side back just to show you guys this side-by-side comparison, but we'll take it out since we know the trick now, so it won't be any hard to taking the taillight out. So, all right, so we got the rear tail lights buttoned up, resistors on both sides of the rear. So the one downside with installing LED turn signals is that you will have hyperflash unless the bulb that you get is a CAN bus bulb, and what that means is the resistors are built into the bulb, but generally the bulb costs more for that convenience. So what you can do is spend a little more money, save some time, or save some money by installing these resistors. So in the front here, we put the resistor right there, double-sided tape, and the reason why we have this heat gun here is because it's pretty cold out right now. It's probably like 50 something, 40 something degrees out. So we use the heat gun to warm up the metal and warm up the back of the resistor just a little bit, enough where it's a little bit warmer than room temp. Stuck it right there, and the wire runs down, and then the turn signal bulb is right there. On this side, we did the exact same thing. So here's the headlight, and then there's a resistor just right on this front brace here, and then the turn signal bulb is right there. So now all 4 corners of the vehicle has resistors, so now we won't have any hyperflash issues. So let's go ahead and show you guys what they look like with the lights off. All right, so we have the lights off, but we still have this skylight, so there is a little bit of light that is on the vehicle, and you guys can kind of hear the noise that is coming out of the hybrid motor. But here is the front. Let me go ahead and turn on the side markers so you guys can see that as well. So we have side markers on. We have the headlight on as well, just to show you guys the side markers. But this is how bright it is. It's a nice bright blink, so that way when you guys are trying to switch lanes, people definitely see you. And then if you guys haven't seen or checked out our sequential turn signals for the mirrors already, this is them here, nice and bright as well. And then in the rear, we have the bright turn signals, the bright and super white reverse, and kind of see on the floor here. I'll show you guys what it looks like from the inside. So let's go inside. So we're on the inside. I started up the vehicle so that way it's not super loud with all the noises. So there you have it. Super bright area of illumination. There's a nice actually square, so I tried this last night. Super bright, and it creates a nice big area for the reverse. So really nice to have for backing up. And then of course no hyper flash. So normally when you guys have on the hazards, it will still allow you to have a normal blink. When you go to use your actual blinkers, it will hyper flash. So there's your left, and I just flipped on the right side. So there's your right. So really the only downside to upgrading your turn signals is to have all those resistors, one per bulb. So can get a little bit expensive, and this is definitely something I would recommend if you want to replace when you need to replace the actual turn signal bulb, or if you just want super bright bulbs right away, you can go ahead and upgrade them. All right guys, that is pretty much it for this video. We will have everything in this video in the description as always. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more RAV4 content, just let us know. We'll try to make as many as we can. And if you guys are not subscribed already, make sure you guys are subscribed. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.